and welcome to the King's Podcast Season 2. I'm your host, Manassa, and this is my co-host, Danielle.
And today we're here and we're joined with Dr. Natalia, Consultant Dermatologist, skin cancer surgeon, author and bodybuilder. And we would love to talk to you today about social media and skincare and how we can kind of decipher through all of the trends and the techniques and the tips.
Yeah, lots to talk about with that topic.
On your website, you have "love the skin you're in" as your phrase. So what inspired you to pioneer that in your work and on your social media?
I think it's because I see a lot of women particularly, but also some men who just are really unhappy with, they have unrealistic expectations of what their skin should look like. And I think social media is 100% to blame for that. 100%. So filters, all this kind of stuff. And people didn't even realize they were there until like a few years ago. I think I didn't know filters existed, though they may have not existed 5 years ago. I don't even know. But I think that's really set an unrealistic expectation of what women and men, I have a lot of male patients who have this as well, who think that they should look a certain way. And if they don't, like if they have pores that are slightly big or they have like sebaceous filaments on their nose, that's not normal. And then there's something wrong with them and they have to fix that. And then they try to fix it and they get into this like rabbit hole of fixing and then going into a circle. So it upsets me, especially when younger people have this, because it's like it's hard enough being a teenager and you don't need all this kind of pressure as well.
Sure.
So I think that's kind of where that came from. I see a lot of people really struggling for no reason. They have great skin.
Well, I think nowadays there are applications where there will be a filter already on. You won't even know, and it's already on. And now everyone's just striving for perfection. So fix this.
Yeah. Celebrities don't help either.
And in a way, it's kind of blurred the line between what flawless skin should mean, because flawless skin isn't no pores, no anything. But how do we? So what would flawless skin be? What does normal skin look like?
So normal skin is partially also ethnicity related. So that's, so people who are very fair or like Northern European type Irish skin, they will have a bit of redness and that's normal for that type of skin. So to have a bit of redness, if you're very fair, is normal. To have slightly enlarged pores or slightly more oily skin, that's also normal, especially for certain types of skin. Like type 6 or Afro-Caribbean people tend to have more oily skin. It's kind of, you can kind of even think of slightly more like thicker kind of, and like the pores are slightly enlarged. That's normal for that skin type. So, but everyone wants to have the same skin, which basically is no pores, like airbrushed. You know what I'm talking about? So, and like it has to be all perfect, but that's not normal. So so normal skin has a bit of oiliness. It also has a bit of dryness. So everyone is more oily in their mid zone and drier laterally. Combination skin doesn't exist. Everyone has combination skin. That is normal. Some people have a bit more oil in their like T-zone area than they'd like to have, which makes your makeup not sit well or you look shiny at the end of the day. If that bothers you, then that can be corrected, but that's still normal. Like it's still within the spectrum of what I consider normality. And some people can be very oily and not have acne. And some people can be very oily and have tons of acne.
Yeah.
So it does depend also what's happening with your skin, what would be considered normal for that skin type.
That's really interesting.
And we're recommended so many different types of skincare products. The market is really oversaturated and now we've got celebrity skincare lines and everything. So how would someone know what to actually use?
So you don't really know.
Yeah.
So I would just, with this kind of thing, like what is the best moisturizer? What is the best cleanser on social media when I say this? Cause I'm like, all moisturizers are the same. And everyone's like, no, they're not. They're different. Like, no, fundamentally, if you look at the ingredients, they're all the same. They all create a barrier to water loss, some better than others. And that's how they function as moisturizers. That's it. So you can add a bunch of extra stuff to them and make them look fancy on the container, like stem cell extract, gold leaf powder. It doesn't change what it does. In the end, it does the same thing. So just use the one you like and it's affordable to you. And if you like a certain brand with certain, bottles and you like it in your bathroom, it's a luxury item. So all skincare is a luxury item. Even the cheap stuff is a luxury item because none of us really need skincare. I mean, you can get away very well without using anything aside potentially, sunscreen, which is a different thing. But generally speaking, none of us really need any skincare. You'd be perfectly fine if you just didn't use anything.
Wow.
So is that what you do?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I don't use a lot of skincare. I do wear like a tinted SPF or whatever. I like a bit of shimmery stuff. So I do remove that sometimes, not all the time, in the evening. And then if I feel like I need some if I feel like my skin's a little bit dry, then I'll use some Vaseline or something. That's it. So I only put something on my skin maybe 3 to 4 nights a week.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So on especially TikTok at the moment, and I suppose all social media platforms, there's quite a lot of trending techniques, trending products. Should we be hesitant of that content that we're consuming?
Yes. So if you see something that you think is magic, it almost certainly is not. So especially if they're trying to sell it to you for anything over like £5 or, 20 dirhams, I would say no. And so you don't need to have that product. If you have a skin problem, like an actual skin problem, like whether it's acne or rosacea, whatever it may be, that can be managed properly, but not through a 10-step skincare routine you're going to find on TikTok. It's going to need something like a proper treatment, because acne is a skin disease, rosacea is a skin disease, eczema is a skin disease. These are disorders of skin. They're not normal. So they need to be treated properly. So trying to find a solution to your acne on TikTok, which many, many people do, is probably not helpful.
So go to your dermatologist.
Go to your friendly local dermatologist, get a diagnosis and a treatment plan. Yeah, pretty much.
So because there's so much stuff on TikTok, what is some of the worst tips or tricks that you've seen online for skincare?
Oh, skincare. So I deal with hair as well. So I think the worst thing I've seen recently is the rosemary oil thing for hair growth. That is terrible.
That is definitely something I fell for.
It is so convincing.
Yeah.
And actually it's outsold on Amazon. It's like the #1 selling skincare product on Amazon, which is completely insane. Who wants to you should never put oil on your scalp, like ever.
Really?
Yeah, because the scalp is really oily. If you put oil on your scalp, you're going to give yourself dandruff. You're going to give yourself other problems. So oil is for the ends of hair. If you have long hair like you do, if you have long hair, you put oil on the ends of hair, fine, okay. But not on your scalp. Has everyone lost their mind?
I thought that it was a studied thing, that rosemary oil actually had significant benefits from studies. That's why.
Yeah, there's one, it's not a real clinical trial, but it was done in, I believe we're referring to something that was published in 2015. I'm just kind of remembering. Yeah, no, it was, I think they tried to show that rosemary oil is as effective as 2% minoxidil in growing hair, but it wasn't a clinical trial. So you can't, there was no placebo. And so it's not a proper trial. I don't remember who wrote that study. And it was also a very small number of people, over a very short period of time. So the whole thing was just nonsense. It didn't show anything at all, actually.
Wow.
So are all of these skincare brands, hair care brands, are they tricking us?
Yes. But yeah. It is preying on a vulnerability that is prevalent through all society. We all want to look the best we can. If we feel like there's a problem with our skin or hair, we want to correct that problem, and we'd like to do it ourselves. No one wants to have to see a doctor. People don't think hair problems are a medical problem, that skin problems are a medical problem. I should be able to deal with this myself. I should be able to go to, Boots or Sephora and be able to find a solution to this.
Right.
But unfortunately, it's a medical problem. So even just seeing one decent dermatologist once may be enough to set you on the correct path. You'll never have to bother with anything ever again.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. So the tips are minimal skincare. We don't need a 10-step plan.
No.
Be wary of TikTok trends.
Yeah, for everything.
Yeah.
For life.
Don't put rosemary oil in your hair.
Definitely not. Or castor oil on your eyelashes and eyebrows.
No.
That's also disgusting. I don't even know how people do that. Like I don't know how you're supposed to use rosemary oil. You just squirt it on your head and massage it into your scalp with a pipette. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. It's really slimy though. It's an oil.
But the culture that I'm from, we always use oils in our hair. So I just thought it was normal, but
yeah, I always try to get not to use oil on your head.
Okay.
Your hair is fine.
Lengths.
Yeah, but not your scalp.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Another lesson there.
Is there any viral products that you've seen that are good or that you would recommend personally?
No. Like I said, I don't really recommend any skincare. So I try to keep things extremely simple and targeted. So I only give people what they need to have. Yeah. And to me, a moisturizer or a cleanser sunscreen is different. Like I said, moisturizers and cleansers, they're adjuvants, extra things to help your skincare, your prescribed treatment function better. Yeah. So some of the things I prescribe can be a little bit drying. So then I'm like, okay, let's put some Vaseline or whatever on top of that. And so that'll help you tolerate that better. And it will minimize irritation, it'll minimize redness, minimize drying. With cleansers, I prefer non-drying cleansers to remove your makeup or your sunscreen. So only once daily. And you don't need to double cleanse. That's another stupid concept from
That's
social
the one
media.
I've fallen for.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because like cleansers, water is pretty bad for your skin. So cleansers are also, they take away the surface lipids, the top of, you want some oiliness on your skin. You need that there. And if you remove it with not one, but two cleansers, then your face is going to feel tight afterwards. People like that tight. I don't know if you like that tight.
Well, I just thought that meant it was clean.
It was clean.
Yeah.
That means you've removed all the surface oil. So sorry, don't make me feel bad. But like, you don't ever want your skin to feel tight after you do anything to it.
Okay.
So yeah.
So no oils on your scalp, but what about oils on your skin?
Yeah, I like oils on the face, like oil cleansers.
Yeah,
cleansers. Yeah, because they're very gentle and they just remove your makeup and they don't disrupt too much of the surface lipids. And your face shouldn't feel tight after that.
Okay, amazing. That's the takeaway.
Yeah, balms and oils.
At the end of the podcast, we always like to ask our guest a top secret. And we would like to know your best skincare secret that you would like to share.
My best skincare secret is probably to sleep enough.
Okay.
So like rest. Like I'm a big fan of sleep and rest. Like a big fan.
8 hours of sleep a day?
8 hours of sleep, or nice. Roughly 10, times a day. But I think sleep and rest is really underrated when it comes to general health and well-being. You will look much better. Like your skin will be more glowy and stuff if you've rested. I don't know if you ever noticed that. When I come back from holiday, people always think I have a tan. I never have a tan, ever. But I look less, I guess, maybe pale because I've been rested. I'm resting. So I think that makes a huge difference. So my skincare secret would be just try to get enough rest, which is easy to say, much harder to do.
Yeah. Amazing.
That's really good. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast and teaching us all this valuable knowledge.
Learned a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
Changing my skincare routine though.
Very good. Simplify. Spending money on something else.
For sure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of the King's Podcast.
And hopefully we'll catch you on the next one.